Alright, hey gang, Conman here. We've got some PTR patch notes. It is the 31st of July. My PTR is currently patching, updating right now, but the patch notes are out. We're just gonna take a quick look. I haven't looked at these yet. We're gonna scan through and see what's going on and see what we've got before we can get into the game. And we'll just see what I think. I don't know. So, let's see. Start off here. Versus AI team comp. Removed mirror matches. Players will no longer face duplicate enemy AI heroes in this game mode. Okay, I guess that's cool. I suppose. I don't know if it makes a difference. Great. I suppose it helps out. You know, you get some better variety of who you're playing against. You know, if you're playing as a Nova, you don't necessarily are going to want to play against another Nova. If you're going to play playing ranked, whatever, it's fine. New hero, Garrosh. I haven't talked about Garrosh yet. I didn't really go over the release, the trailer, or anything like that. He seems interesting. He's going to be a main tank, sounds like. His trait, Garrosh gains 1 armor for every 2% of his maximum health missing, so he's going to be progressively harder to kill as his health goes down. So he's going to be a hero where you're going to want to burst a lot of health off of him when he's full. So stuff like that will be pretty neat and effective against him. Otherwise, you know, lots of small damage is not going to do the trick. Like Tracer is probably going to have a hard time against him because she just attacks very quickly for relatively small amounts. He's got a couple of cool abilities as well. If we can, once we get into the PTR, we'll probably make a video about it and check him out. But we'll talk about it here. Groundbreaker deals damage to enemies in an area. If an enemy is hit in the outer edge, they get pulled toward him. Bloodthirst. Deal damage to an enemy and heal for 10% of your missing health. Interesting. Healing is increased by 100% against heroes. So that could be something that he can use to keep himself alive, give yourself some sustain. Here's the fun one that everyone has been talking about, Wrecking Ball. Throw nearby enemy hero, minion, or mercenary to the target location, dealing damage to enemies near the impact and slowing them by 30% for 2.5 seconds. There's actually a talent, reading some of the notes, the description, there's actually a talent that'll let you throw an enemy or throw a friendly teammate as well. So interesting uses for that. There's going to be a lot of fun with that where you can throw people around. I can't wait to see some of the videos that's going to come from that. So I'm excited to see that in action. His heroic abilities. Warlord's Challenge. Silence nearby heroes and force them to attack Garrosh for 1.5 seconds. So it's like an AoE taunt. So just basically variant taunt on steroids, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen it in action yet, but that's what it sounds like. And then finally, Decimate. Deal damage to enemy heroes and slow them by 30% for 1.5 seconds. Deals 100% more damage to heroes, and each hero hit reduces the cooldown by 1 second. Now here's the interesting part about this. One, it stores 3 charges, and each charge is only an 8-second cooldown, if I was reading some of the notes right, about his release. So, Decimate could be potentially very powerful. If you're in a big group of heroes, you can kind of spam that 3 or 4 times in succession. I'm wondering how much damage it actually does, but we'll check it out once we get into the game. So that's Garrosh in a nutshell. He is released on the PTR at the very least. Let's see, Artanis gets an art update, so that's kind of cool. Here's what I'm looking forward to right here. Armor indicators. Armor buff and debuff indicators have been added next to hero health bars. So this was actually in the in development video. I think the release trailer, the showcase for Garrosh. They had the one clip like halfway through when Greymane jumps into wolf form and he has he gets the 10 armor in wolf form and it actually showed 10 armor. So that'll be. I'm actually looking forward to this a lot because there's always some confusion about armor and who gets armor. How much do they have? When you see the little icon, does he have 25%? Does he have 75%? Is he vuln? Is he vuln for 5 or is he vuln for 25%? So I'm looking forward to that as well. Just some quality of life stuff to see just how much mitigation somebody is going to have. Cursor cooldown notifications. An option to display ability cooldown indicators near your mouse cursor has been added. This feature can be enabled or disabled. I don't know what that means. I do use a custom mouse cursor thanks to Yellow Mouse, so I'm not sure if that's going to conflict at all. So I'll have to check that out and see exactly what that means. MVP banners. The MVP banner, try that again. The MVP players banner will now show on the initial MVP screen. Okay, that's fine. That's neat. In-game chat improvements. The chat box can be moved. That's cool. It's always in the middle, so it's nice to be able to kind of like drop that off on the side or something. In-game chat history can now be accessed by using page up and page down. Also kind of neat. Timestamp Hero names will now display as hero icons. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. I kind of like the hero names. We'll see if, you know, the icon is readable. I find sometimes the icons are very tiny, so it's kind of hard to see it in a glance. But, you know, such is it. We'll see how it goes. New map rotation. Again, this is going to be on the PTR. It will not be live until it's released, but some notable things here. No Hanamura. So all of you people bitching about Hanamura playing ranked, you're not going to have to deal with it for a little while. We got Braxis, Battlefield of Eternity, Sky Temple, Cursed Hollow, Blackheart's Bay, which makes me very friggin' sad. I would much rather play Hanamura than that piece of crap. Towers of Doom, Warhead Junction, Dragonshire, and Garden of Terror, excuse me. Notable changes, you're not going to see Haunted Mines in there. Hanamura is gone. Infernal Shrines I don't see. No more Infernal Shrines. So that's going to be out of the rotation for a little while. Cursed Hollow. Audio-visual indicators have been added to alert players when there are 10 and 5 seconds remaining on the Raven Lord's Curse. That's kind of good to know as well. I mean, you can look at the... It's on the map. I mean, it's on the UI. Usually in the lower right, it shows you how much curse time is left. But it's good to know when it's just about to run out. Sometimes you might stay a little too far. Okay, we got some hero updates. Some balance updates here. So Ragnaros is getting changed. Let's see what this is about. Living Meteor had his damage reduced slightly, but Blast Wave had its cooldown reduced. Let's see, level 1, Shifting Meteor has some added functionality. Each time an enemy is hit by Living Meteor, they take an additional 3% damage from subsequent hits by the same meteor. Okay, so if you're hit multiple times, the damage will scale up on the same time. So, yeah, I get that. Engulfing Flame, adjusted functionality, no longer grants cooldown reduction. Instead, now also increases the damage of Blast Wave by 75%. So if you're gonna kind of go that explosive Blast Wave build, you'll get some bonus damage out of that at level 1. Level 7, Superheated. Cut. Does that mean it's not there? I guess it means it's removed. I don't know. Cut. New talent. Blistering Attacks. Passive. Every 10 seconds, your next basic attack deals 60% bonus damage. Enemies hit by your next basic abilities. So that's your standard, okay, that's your basic, like, just you focus attacks kind of thing that you'll get with, like, Sergeant Hammer or Raynor, for example, but it's just got a name. Okay, that's a thing. Molten Power. Damage bonus increase from 15 to 20% per enemy hero hit. And at level 20, the Lava Surge. Cooldown reduction increased from 10 to 30%, or 30 seconds. I don't know if that was something that we really needed at level 20. I mean, I guess Lava Wave is not taken quite so often in ranked play because everyone wants the everyone's going for Sulfurous Smash because they get the damage and they get the stun. All right, so that's the thing. Couple of changes here to Ragnaros in his E build specifically. I guess I don't know what Superheated was off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've actually played Ragnaros, but I guess it's cut. So now you get blistering attacks instead. Butcher. Let's see here. Butcher, it looks like, I'm not sure. Okay, basic attack damage lowered from 140 to 130, so he gets his basic attack damage cut. Fresh meat, so his trait is reworked. Meat required to complete his quest increased from 125 to 200. That's a fairly significant increase. Damage bonus per meat stack now decreased from 1 to 1/2. Alright, so that means at quest completion, instead of having 125 bonus damage, now you're only going to have 100 bonus damage. So he gets a damage nerf, it looks like. Meat dropped by enemy heroes increased from 5 to 25. So a big bump up from to meat dropped. Bonus damage on quest completion increased from 100 to 125. So you'll get like, alright, so you get the bonus damage on the completion. Once the quest is completed, enemy heroes continue to drop meat, giving the Butcher 5 permanent basic attack damage per meat collected. And they removed Abattoir at level 1, which was basically this. So they built that into the trait baseline, so it lets you take something else at level 1. But they changed the meat stacks a little bit. So I guess Butcher is going to focus much more on actually being able to get enemy kills. So it's gonna, I'm wondering, I think this is gonna hurt Butcher. I think this is going to hurt Butcher a little bit, because as somebody who plays, I played Butcher in Quick Match a lot. I haven't played him in Ranked, but you know, your beginning game is really focused around kind of farming the meat stacks for the minions, and you really have a hard time in team fights until you get, you know, halfway up your stacks, because you don't have the damage to really pick people off. You know, maybe if you have the team overextending, or if you've got like a team that has the Vikings or Murky or something, you can counter them and just, you know, farm them for meat, because you'll be able to get some kills and you know, get a significant increase in the meat stacks because of that. I'm curious how this is going to change him. I do think this is going to be a net decrease to Butcher. Just it's going to be more difficult to get your stacks up. You actually don't lose, in losing that level 1 talent, you're going to lose the reduction of meat stacks on death. So, you know, it places even a larger emphasis on not getting killed. This could be tough if the enemy team is playing smart and not getting themselves overextended and picked off. Butcher could be in for some trouble. Conversely, if the enemy team, you know what this strikes me as? This strikes me as more of a win more kind of thing, where if the enemy team is just throwing themselves at you and getting yourself killed, you're going to stack up your meat super fast, and then you're going to go to town, and then you're just going to continue to steamroll them. But otherwise, I don't have a good feeling about this. I think this one is one that's going to get revisited. Like, I think it's going to, I just think it's going to be, he's going to take a hit on this one. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'll be wrong, but we'll see how it goes. Probius. Worker Rush can no longer be activated while the Worker Rush buff is still active. This will prevent players from actually placing the ability in cooldown while leaving the Hall of Storms. Okay, so quality of life thing, pretty great. I think Sergeant Hammer works the same way, so that's pretty nice. Oriel's resource bar will now glow when at maximum hope. I thought that already did. I guess I wasn't paying attention well enough. I don't know. Diva. Diverting power. Instead of preventing Diva from moving during defense matrix, this talent now adds an additional 50% slow. Okay, so that's a little buff to that. Sonya. Whirlwind, the time required after activation before the ability can be cancelled has been increased from 0.5 to 1 second. This should help prevent accidental cancellations. I didn't play a lot of Sonya, so I don't know if this affected a lot of people, but it sounds on paper to be a good improvement. If you think otherwise, let me know. We got some new bundles into the game. The Garrosh bundle, yeah. So your Warcraft Armory bundle, bunch of Garrosh skins, couple of Anubrak skins. Omega, Nubalisk. Li Ming gets some skins, ETC gets some stuff. Butcher, Grendel Butcherlisk. Valyra, Zul'jin, Diva, Abathur, Feral Swarm Abathur. I'm curious what that one looks like. Dahaka variant, Deadly Logash variant, so it's probably Logash with a new tint. Let's see. Rhaegar, Samaro, new mounts, couple of mounts. Wretched Illidan's Nightmare. That sounds awesome. I don't know what it looks like yet. Some road boards in various tints. We get some bug fixes. Fix the number of typo tooltip errors. Great. Mini catapults that are destroyed while their projectiles are mid-air will no longer deal half damage. I assume this means they will deal 100% damage rather than 0 damage. That's my assumption. If I see otherwise, I'll let you know. Heroes Brawl, fixed an issue that could cause increased loading time. Okay, cool. Some tri-mode stuff. Nothing super crazy here. Lots of hero bug fixes. Let's see. Alarak, interaction with the Vikings in Longboat. Cassia, Blinding Light will no longer reveal stealth enemy heroes. So that's an interesting one. So it used to reveal heroes. I guess I can't highlight the damn thing. There we go. So it used to reveal stealth heroes. I guess it makes sense because it technically doesn't cause damage. But I guess that's a nerf to Cassia in that sense. Diva now properly contests objective capture points while exiting her mech. Now properly contests and pushes payloads when exiting her mech. So there you go. There's a buff for her and a bug fix. Diva's basic attacks are now haunted during her taunt and dance animations. That's funny. Didn't realize that was a thing. Charism 7-sided strike will no longer target Diva's mech during self-destruct. Okay, I mean that's a buff to Charism versus Diva. Diva's mech does count as a hero, so I guess it makes sense. Otherwise, you would just kind of sit there and waste it because it would just target the mech no matter what. X-Strike can now be properly self-cast. Greymane can now correctly cast Go for the Throat a second time when using the ability to kill. All of these are diva fixes. Like, she just breaks everything. Ragnaros, Lava Wave now correctly contributes to Ragnaros' siege damage. Was it not already doing that? I mean, I thought it did. I've seen Ragnaros with like 30k siege damage. Maybe that was XP. I take that back. That was experience, not siege damage. So there you go. Let's see. Fixed an issue that could cause Misha to become briefly unresponsive after respawning if she was killed while Rexar was affected by time stop. That's a very interesting bug. I'm glad that that's fixed, I guess. Chromie's timeout would not begin counting down to the hero respawn. That's a bug. Possession. Fixed an issue that would allow Sundering to be seen and heard throughout Fog of War. Ricochet, here we go. Ricochet will no longer cause Tracer's basic attacks to bounce to stealth. So if you're a stealthy, you got a couple of quality of life improvements for you where you won't get revealed quite as often for stupid crap. Also, I don't see any of the Vala stealth fixes that she's had. She's had some trouble with stealth for a while, like being untargetable and then being able to be revealed by towers even though she stealthed. So Stukov, here's some sound improvements, some UI stuff. So there you go. That's the patch notes in a nutshell. Big stuff, of course. Garrosh is out. We'll check him out. I think my patching is just about finished. I'm going to hop into the game. And then some changes to Ragnaros and specifically Butcher. I'm curious how this plays out. So there you go. Those are the patch notes in a nutshell. It's on the PTR right now. It'll probably be up for a week. So go hop on and check it out. All right, take care, guys.